Today's video, turning a classic app from retro to modern. I mean, by modern, it's still like 20 years old. SQL Server Management Studio, or SSMS, was released in 2005, and it has been supporting the administration and implementation of Microsoft database solutions for decades. While it has been serving its purpose very well, I find myself asking, has anything ever changed in this solution?
I mean, look at it. This is what nearly 20 years of change looks like? Compared to current products for data-related work, or even early SSMS, new SSMS looks so bland, no pigment, almost as if someone took the life out of it.
Well, maybe it just needs an update.
Well, that may be true, but SSMS has been getting updates, and it's mostly bug fixes and minor adjustments, while its complementary installation of Azure Data Studio is getting more extensions and support for copilots and other developer tools. So there's no excuse for me sitting here using SSMS and feeling like I'm back in the 2000s, wearing cargo pants and jamming out to Weird Al's Poodle Hat album, and otherwise singing "Where is the love for SSMS?"
While it may look like it's not getting much love, it actually has a number of features like other development tools, but in SSMS it's not quite set up the way you expect it to be. So in today's video, I'm going to show you 4 things that I change on every SSMS installation I work with.
So the first thing I want to do is I want to clean up a couple of items on my query editor window. What am I talking about? Well, when I'm connected into a database environment and I hit new query, by default my tab is filled with a bunch of stuff I can't read because it's already truncated to begin with. Well, what is my tab trying to tell me? Aside from giving me a file name, it's trying to give me additional information about the database environment this query editor window is connected to. The thing is, most of this information is already duplicated at the bottom of the screen. Not only that, it's visible. So I want to clean up this tab. To do that, I go up to Tools, Options, and then under the Text Editor section, I'll go to Editor tab and Status Bar. At the bottom here, I get all of the options of what by default shows up on my tab. As I said, most of it's redundant, so I'm going to go ahead and disable pretty much everything other than the file name, because I might want to save off this query in the future. While I'm in here, I'm going to go to my Transact SQL section, and I'm going to turn on line numbers, which is also not on by default. With those changes in place, if I then go out here and create a query and run it, not only is my tab cleaned up with just the file name, but now I get line numbers which previously were not available. The second thing I'd like to enable in my Management Studio is the dark theme.
As in shades? Well, now you've got my attention.
SQL Server Management Studio didn't have a dark theme up until SQL Server 2016. And even when they added it to the product in 2016, they made it so that you could not get it enabled unless you manually adjusted a config file for SSMS. Once that's done, you do get the option to set the dark theme. Having seen its dark theme, I now understand why they left it disabled. If I go in here and I take a look at some of the details of my database and try to start scripting out certain things, I quickly get to a point where some of these words are really difficult to read, and I can only find them because I've been using this tool for a very long time. So, for me personally, I really need a dark theme. So, what are my options? Another option, which I'll leave in the description of this video, is an extension you can install called SQL Shades. With SQL Shades installed, and going into its properties and choosing the color theme, SQL Shades Basic Dark, I now have the sort of dark theme I'm expecting to see. Something that is primarily dark backgrounds with text that in all menus is highlighted. My eyes thank the developer of SQL Shades greatly. This third change is something I started doing recently, but wish I had done much sooner. Going back to SSMS in 2019, they offered a new feature called Auto Recovery. Like Microsoft products, and it's set by default, this solution periodically saves versions of queries in your open editor windows, so in the case of an SSMS crash, those queries can be recovered. That sounds fantastic! I'm gonna turn it off. Now that is bonkers. Well, call me crazy, but let me explain. It comes down to the memory usage of auto recovery in SSMS. When I go into my task manager on my device, I can see that right now, having run SSMS for a couple of hours today and a couple of query windows open, my memory usage is at 157 megabytes at this moment. The way the SSMS auto recovery works, by default, is it takes snapshots of my queries every 5 minutes and retains them for 7 days. If I leave this environment running for a couple of days with active development going on, I've had situations where this memory usage goes up to 2 gigabytes and beyond. And this is to protect me from crashes. But here's the problem. The crashes most often when I'm using SSMS come from SSMS running out of memory, because it's doing too many auto recovery snapshots and runs out of memory on my device. It's sort of that solving that problem that you created rather than focusing on solving a problem that you didn't create. That's why I at least make this change. The change itself is pretty simple. I go into Tools, Options, and under Environment and Auto Recover, here are the settings that I could adjust if I wanted to reduce the number of snapshots taken, but most times I will go ahead and disable it and hit OK. Now this means I'm no longer saved if SSMS crashes, but let's take a look at possible scenarios there. Usually I'm working in one of two scenarios. I'm either data profiling an environment or doing some basic diagnostics, so the queries I write are simple, and if I lose them, not much is lost. I can easily recover that on my own with a little bit of manual effort. The flip side is when I'm working with very critical queries. But anytime I'm working with that, I'm storing that query as either a database object or as a file sitting on my device. And as long as I save it frequently, I can mitigate the possible risk of losing my work. So I will gladly take that minor risk in losing some of my work at cost of having more memory available for things like my music library. The last thing I'd like to share with you is query shortcuts. We all have certain queries, be it stored procedures or select top thousands, that we run on a routine basis. Wouldn't it be nice to have a nice quick key shortcut that lets us run those queries quickly? Well, in SSMS, you can. To do that, I'm going to go to Tools, Options, and under the Environment section, Keyboard, and Query Shortcuts, I have a list of shortcut keys that I can assign queries to. You can see I have a couple of examples of stored procedures I could run, as well as doing a select top 1000 star from, and the nice thing is, I can actually insert extra text at the end of the query. Let me show you. In this case, I have a basic query up for dim customer. I'm going to go ahead and select the text of the table and hit my shortcut, Control 5. What that does is it actually ran my query, inserting the table name at the end of the query. With this technique, I'm able to more easily troubleshoot complex scenarios, like complex queries by being able to profile individual tables at a time, or profile environments quickly to see what queries might be running at this moment. And there you have it, a couple changes I make on every SSMS instance I work with. Now, I may be a little harsh on the product in terms of aesthetics and the way that it functions, but it comes from a place of love. I use this product every day for my job, and I would love to see it have some of the things that I see in other products like Visual Studio Code and Azure Data Studio. And I don't think I'm asking for much. Yes, I could go and use those products, but there are certain things that I can still only do with Management Studio. And until that changes, we need to make this product better. And I would love to see some of these changes turned to defaults in future versions. With that, we're finished with today's video. Thanks again for watching. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll keep you posted on upcoming chapters. With that, I'm DataBard, and I'll see you in the next chapter. Well, while it may no... Bonk. Alright. While it may look like SSMS is not getting much love, it's actually got a number of features. Like many products that have features. After making those changes, and then running a basic query, which I can't do right now. The second thing I'd like to do is enable the dark theme in my Management Studio. Now, for the longest time, whoa, for the longest time, SSMS for in 2019. Oh no, it's a collab. Well, maybe I need to come up with something interesting to say. Blah 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 blah.